Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Train Sim World, and this is the Rapid Transit DLC, scenario number 2. So, climb aboard, and we will. This one is, for some reason, just a little bit tricky to find that trigger box to get in the train. Right. Commencing boarding. Unlock the doors on the left. You got it. Let's see how we're doing. Right. Okay. So while that's loading up, I will get the train ready. Get some lights on. Sanders off. Cabin lights. Let's go with reading lights? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Some wipers on. There. What else will we need? Can't think of anything else right now. I don't know how I feel about these cabin lights either. Nope. They're just fighting me. Wow, okay. Right there. That's what I want. Wait until 14:45. I can do that. What I'd like to do is turn my lights down a little bit. But I don't feel like that really does anything. I want to kind of, I guess it does. We'll see. I guess I'm looking for a little mood lighting in the old Talent. Right. So yeah, it's a Friday where I am. It's a crazy day in America. There's just so many things going on, and like I said last video, I'm not taking sides. I'm not talking politics. I'm just making the subjective observation that man, it is crazy right now. I don't care what side you're on. So I've got CNN on, and I'm watching that out of one eye, and I'm making a train video and just stay the course, baby. You know how it is. Right. Let's get zoomed in here. And these scenarios, I feel, do get a little harder. Right. Doors are closed. Brakes are released. All the brakes are released because I got like 5 of them. Here we go. I'll try to do a little bit more outside camera today. I'm not opposed to it. I just although that's not working for me. The that little jump that it does every time it goes past a something or other. That right there. Well, we'll figure it out. We always do, right? So 3.7 miles. Let's see where we're headed up there. And as soon as we can, we'll open her up a little. There you go. And I'll continue experimenting with the levels a little bit. I feel like, I mean, my goal is always to have like one set of levels, like to have everything just dialed and forget it. I try not to change anything in my capture software, and the reason is then I never know what let's see if I can say this in a way that makes sense. I try to adjust the volume in the sim rather than adjusting the level in the capture software. I find if I adjust the capture software, then the next sim that I fire up, I'm doing the same thing and the same thing, and it just makes more sense, I think, to one more. Yeah, there we go. I think it makes more sense to get a good level in the capture software and then adjust the actual volume in the sim so you're not constantly chasing the dragon every time you fire something up. And I know that the diesel locomotives in CSX Heavy Haul are comparatively loud compared to these very quiet electric locomotives. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I don't think there's independent setting. I don't think you get like one volume setting for diesel and one for electric. Yeah, okay. I'm an idiot, because if that were the case, then they wouldn't be different volumes. You could adjust until they were the same. Derp. Right. It's a crazy day here. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I am fully ready to have a glass of wine. I'll wait. I'll wait till 5. But man, it's a day. Right. I think this is the fastest we've gone so far. So we're gonna really be kind of cautious, conservative, like I always am. And I remember from the original Microsoft Train Simulator, it's got to be 20 years ago, close to it. I remember that there was like a passenger comfort rating, and particularly on the Acela, it was constantly dinging you for jarring the passengers. And I like that level of detail, but I always felt that that was like just a little too like not strict. What's the word I'm looking for? It was pretty rough. It felt there were times that it felt like there's just no way I can be gentle enough to not rattle my passengers, if that makes sense. All right, there we go. 7 seconds to spare. All right, go outside, take a look. Hey, folks, welcome aboard. I'm going to hit the vape while they're getting loaded. $15.30. There we go. Brakes are off. Doors are closed. Where are we going? 4.1 miles. We've got about 4 minutes to get there. I have my settings on Imperial because we started TSW in Maryland, the United States. I'm wondering if I shouldn't switch it to metric, at least for these UK and European scenarios. Although UK, well, that's kind of a tough one because they're half and half. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Leave it on Imperial for the US and switch it to metric for anywhere in Europe? I don't know. All right. You know, when I'm kind of creeping along from station to station, speed really isn't, you know, going too fast really isn't an issue when you're only going a mile or a mile and a half. But like right now, I feel like I want to go as fast as possible to try to make up some time, but then we end up going, and we're going to be knocking on 100 miles an hour. And it's a relatively small train. It's not a freight train or anything. But I still want to be able to stop the thing in time. Obviously, I want to be able to stop in time. You know what I mean? It's like the faster we go, the better we do, unless we go so fast that we do really, really not well at all. And I also don't want to just hammer the brakes. Now, something else, and I noticed this in CSX, and I guess I'm noticing it again now, is that distance, I believe, is linear and not track distance. Like, that's not how far we have to go. That's how far it is, right? Because in CSX, there's that huge loop that you go through, and the whole time you're going through it, the thing that you're trying to get to isn't getting any closer because it's on the other side of the loop, and you're sort of not orbiting around it, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's like geometry. Right. I think that's about right. I'll get this. I'll get a little bit more aggressive with this as I get more comfortable. But for now, I'm being very, very conservative with it. As you do. Get the timing for it. Get a feel for the timing. And it does. It's weird how it's like the slower the train is going. I mean, I said this last episode. The slower the train is going, the less momentum it has. But there's a weird, like, taper to it almost. Right. And we do on time. Wow. Right on time. Holy smokes. Check our style, yo. Take a look outside. Still really pleased with the way this game looks, even with some lights on and some rain falling and some other things going on. We're still holding at 30 FPS in a station. I know. It's not, supercomputer stats, but for my little laptop, I think we're doing great. Lock the doors. Release the brakes. There's that thing it does. Now I'm not sure what that pause is. 3 minutes, 3 miles. Well, we gotta make tracks here. And I feel like this schedule is set based on, not that you would be driving the train like a crazy person, but I feel like the schedule is based on some pretty, obviously it's very tight, but I feel like you need to have the train going just a mile or two under the speed limit as often as possible if you're going to make all your stops. And the one that gets me, well, there are a couple that get me. The one that gets me is when before you come into a new speed limit, before you cross into a new speed limit, particularly on the European trains, something like the TGV in Train Simulator 2018, that it registers your speed before you get to the speed limit and applies the brakes for you. And I'm guessing that's based on a real system. But it is frustrating. to be monitoring and to think like, yeah, okay, I got this. I'm going to brake here, I'm going to do this or whatever, and the system, gets out in front of you and brakes for you when you were planning on doing it yourself. I get it. That's how it really is, but I feel like there's no it it seems like it should be given. If you rode that route all the time, if you drove that route all the time, you would know when and where to brake and what speeds you needed to be at to hit your speed limits. So I'm saying even before you were at the new speed limit, you would know, okay, here I need to be slowing down, or here I need to be doing this or that. And I think in time you would learn that in the simulator as well. But in the meantime, if you wanted to brake more aggressively, as long as you still brake, everything will be fine. But it's like the game doesn't know that. The sim doesn't know that. So it's braking for you. What? You get what I'm saying. You always get what I'm saying. You know me. Right. What are we doing on time? We got 30 seconds, about a half a mile. Okay. But I'm going to need to keep my speed up as we get close. No, I'm going to miss this one by about 30 seconds, I think. "34 seconds. Well, I mean, if nothing else, I can at least estimate how late I'll be. Folks, welcome aboard. Come on, get in here. Get out of the rain. Oh, that's cool. The little fans are turning. Man, it's those details. Tell you what. Lock the doors. Here we go. Now, again, that delay. I don't know what that delay is. The brakes are off. Yeah, I don't know if that's something to do with the way these trains really are. I don't know if it's something to do with the sim. I don't know if it's something to do with something that I'm doing wrong. I'm open to any input at this point. I don't know if we're going underground again in this episode. I did like that. Really like when we ran that, what I think of as the subway portion of the route. I'll hop back in cab before I trip my alerter. Green light. Everything's looking good. And I think the timing on that last stop was pretty good. I got a little too frisky with the brake and cost myself some time, but living and learning, baby, you know. So back this down and get it ready for a little dynamic braking. We're doing on time. We're already late. All right. That one's not bad. Okay. 45 seconds. There we go. Oh, I haven't been tooting my horn. Toot it right now. There we go. Doors are closed. Maybe I'm just not pausing long enough, trying to go too fast. I also don't know if we're getting any wheel slip with this rain. I don't think there'd be. I mean, it's just a little drizzle. Yeah, it's more than drizzle, but you know what I mean. It's not a monsoon. We'd be okay, right? You'd think there wouldn't be that much wheel slip. All right. So 3 miles, 2 minutes. Well, we're a minute late. I guess there's enough time to get there, but not when you're running behind. I do feel like these scenarios get harder and harder. And that would make sense. You know, that they would continue to make you work. It certainly wouldn't make sense for them to get easier. All right. And I believe this scenario is called Metropolitan, so I'm not sure if we're going downtown or not. We look like we're still kind of out in the suburbs. So maybe we'll get downtown a little bit. Curious what the city looks like, how it's modeled. What I've seen so far has been really, really good. And the detail in CSX Heavy Haul is really good as well. And that detail I can personally attest to because I grew up in places like that. Or in that place, I guess. But around towns like that. All right, I'm going to push my luck a little bit on the timing for this stop, try to make up some time. So we may, I hope I don't overshoot or have to slam on the brakes, but we're going to get a little bit more aggressive with it. Well, we're going to have to because we got just barely made that speed limit. So we got that. Okay. And 1,000 yards. Okay. Right. I feel like we did better there, but it was a little bit nerve-wracking coming in hot like that. Hot. Right. Back in here. Lock doors. No horn. There we go. So we've got, how far are we going? Is that 2.9 miles, 2.3 miles, and we've got about 2 minutes to get there. Depends on the speed limit, I guess. Leipzig Nord sounds like it might be a downtown station. I don't know, but we'll see when we get there. Nice fog effect. Misty foggy. This is working for me. Back in cab. I want to be right up on that speed limit, but I'm always a little bit cautious that it doesn't. It's done it before. I mean, it hasn't. When I say it's done it before, I don't mean like it's out to get me or something. But you're on a track with a speed limit, and then for one reason or another, it needs to move you to another track, and that track has a drastically different speed limit. All right, I'm going to try to time this like we did that last one. Mm-hmm. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. We got 20 seconds. Maybe a little bit late, but we're not. Compared to how I normally am on passenger runs, these are not bad. These times are not bad. They're on that side. Right. Brakes are released. I feel like I've been lucky the past few times. These past couple platforms, I feel like I haven't. Like, that's what I've been trying to do, but then the fact that it actually works out that way is almost luck. Right. Brakes are off. Doors are closed. Here we go. How far are we going? 1.6 miles, and we've got a minute and a half to get there. Well, come on then. Really liking the level of detail, all the overhead wiring, the track detail, the track side detail, the signals, everything. Just the whole environment looks really, really well thought out. And I think this may be, I think we're getting close to the end of the line, but I don't know exactly. Or at least the end of the route for the scenario we're doing today. We're stop 37. Yeah, this looks like it might be the end of the line. Maybe. Can't tell yet. We'll know in a minute. And we are, okay, as of right now, we're late. And we are, wow, we are descending. Nope, too early. Come on. There we go. Back this brake off. And I haven't been in enough of these stations yet to recognize if this is one that we've been in yet in that other scenario. No. Not having much luck with the mouse there. So we'll just leave it. Lock doors. Brakes off. Leipzig Market sounds familiar. I think we have been to that station. Let me take a look. Take a look at that later. Getting a little hectic in here. When we get to the end of the route, when there's no timetable anymore, we'll go back and take a look at the map. I haven't looked at it end to end yet to really get a feel for how big or how complex the world is. I feel like with CSX, and it's the same game. I keep saying CSX like it's a different thing, but I know it's the same, more or less the same sim, but I feel like the amount of track and the amount of detail is accurate. No, too soon. Look right now. Yeah, that's a recenter. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a. It looks like just that one line, but when you see some of the other things that are going on and just the way that it's set up, I'm. I'm thinking that's a good amount of track and a good amount of detail. All right. And I seem to remember this station as well, but this next one, well, again, we'll take a look at the map, but I don't know that there are that many. It looks like there's just one line through the city, and the stations are on that line, and so those are the stations that you go to. I don't want to speculate that, there's, you see what I'm getting at, loops or lines or a lot of complexity that isn't there. I'm just curious. Some of this does look familiar, some of it does not. So we'll see when we get to the other end what all the different stations and stops are. Right. A little too early. I'm more concerned about overshooting a stop than I am about being late, and that's why we're slowing down so early. It's just my style also. I tend to be pretty conservative. I do remember this one. Okay, so we've been through all of these before then. And what's interesting is I thought we came through these in reverse order. So I'm trying to think where we would have started from. Down here somewhere? Because we're headed this way now. That's a pretty big yard. Yeah, that's a pretty big yard. Alright. And now I need to hustle up and get back in cab before the stop is over. Right. Let the doors close all the way this time. And we're already late before we've even left, so we're definitely behind now. Try it a little bit more aggressively. And I will, once I have the timing of these down, and it'll take a while. It'll probably take a few months of gameplay, but once I have the timing of these down, I'll have breaking points in these tunnels. Same as you have breaking points on a racetrack, and know exactly where I need to apply the brakes and how hard to hit that spot every time. But for now, I'm going to be probably 3 minutes late by the time this is all said and done. Not the end of the world. It's only a game. Nobody cares. Just a little bump of power. It's a little too slow. Even for somebody as conservative as me, that's too slow. Right. Doors. I'm gonna go. There we go. No. Just have to go through the train, and it lets you come out the other side. Right. Got it all on there. Okay. I think we're getting... close to the end of the scenario. And I also think... Yep. I think what I was doing wrong is I was trying to accelerate the train before the doors were closed. I think that's where the error was occurring. So I'm curious. I feel like those stations do represent the downtown area of Leipzig. Could be wrong. Nope. Speed limit just jumped up. Fantastic. I feel like those did represent the downtown areas. Oh, the sound just cut out right there. It was odd. So I don't know that we'll get to see how downtown is modeled, because I think we go under it rather than through it, which makes perfect sense and is the way that any intelligent city would be set up, so of course it makes sense. But still, a little, not disappointing, but I was curious how they would model all that. And I will, as I said, I will get more comfortable with the starts and stops and speed limits. I know I'm going really slow, but until I know what little tricks are in store, I tend to be very cautious. It's just how I roll. Although, having said that, I do like things difficult. And I see some red lights up there. So I'm curious what that's about. Is this the end of the line? Let's see. We racked up 20,000 points. We have to be close to the end of the line. And I see a red light right in front of us. So who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us. Back in there. Release the brakes. Disembark. Climb down from the train. You know, I hate to leave my train just sitting there, yo. So I gotta. You know I gotta shut it all down. Right. Who's this guy? It's like he's looking to jack my train. Right. 56 yards. Don't mind if I do. Right. Where are we going? Going right here. Objective complete. Fantastic. How do we do? We made a lot of stops right on time. So 1 second, 1 second, on time, on time, on time, on time. 1 second, 1 second, and then these are the ones where we started getting way out. Although I feel like we were off more on these. Yeah, we were like 2 minutes late. Ah, that's why, because these aren't seconds, these are minutes. So down here, I guess when you're within a minute, calls it good. These look like they're all 2 minutes or above. Fantastic. Folks, thank you so much for stopping back to join the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of TSW Rapid Transit. We'll see you again soon. Take care now.